Students, today I will discuss about the very interesting chapter of class 8, that is the endocrine system and adolescence. The endocrine system and adolescence actually correlated. So, before discussing the adolescence, we must know about what is the endocrine system. Actually, in our body, there are two types of system. One is the endocrine system and other is the exocrine. And depending on their activities, the glands are of two types. One is the exocrine gland and another is the endocrine gland. Actually, actually the functions of the exocrine gland, here the chemical released from this type of gland, that is passed throughout the body with the help of the duct. For example, the salivary gland and the pancreatic juice, gastric juice. Here, all this type of the juice is passed different parts to reach to the different parts of our body with the help of the duct. And this type of gland is known as the exocrine gland. And another type of gland is a endocrine gland. And endocrine gland mainly are the ductless. That is, here no duct. And the chemicals secreted from this gland pass to the throughout the body or reach the different parts of the body with the help of the blood. Okay, so this type of gland have no duct and secreted substance directly mixed with blood. Through the blood, it is transported from one place to another or different parts of our body, and hormone is secreted for such type of glands. Okay, so and blood takes the role to carry the hormones to their target cell, and in the target cell they do their activities. This type of gland is known as the endocrine gland. And there's also another type of gland that is known as the mixed gland. Here's mix means both the combination of the exocrine and endocrine gland. And example of such type of glands are the pancreatic gland and also testes and ovary, also the example of the mixed gland. Now, at first I will discuss about what is hormone, because we know that from our discussion you are known that from endocrine gland actually hormones are secreted. So hormones are the chemical substance that being transported through blood. They may be produced in our body according to the need, and some hormones are present in the blood throughout the life. Okay, and actually hormone do the activity of the chemical coordination. So what's the chemical coordination? Chemical coordination example, suppose any types of, at the age of the adolescence, your height is increasing, because here's a function of the somatotrophic hormone. We discuss I will discuss it later. So somatotrophic hormone actually helps to divide cell, and this helps the overall growth of our body and cell division. Okay, so somatotrophic hormone secrete from brain, pituitary, and then with the help of the blood it reaches the different types of the cell and helps the growth of the body by cell division, and also helps the skeletal and the muscular growth, protein and nucleic acid synthesis. So this type of the this type of activities, the hormone is secreted from one place and reaches to the far away with the help of the blood. Okay, and there's another type of coordination that is known as the neural coordination or nervous coordination. So now I discuss what is the nervous neural coordination. Here the information sent as an electrical impulse, but in case of the chemical coordination, information sent as a chemical substance through the blood stream. Okay, in case of neural coordination, response is immediate. For example, if a mosquito sits on your leg, the brain receives the signal and brain send the order to your hand to shoo the mosquito away. Okay, so when the a mosquito sit on the leg, on your leg, then the receptor on your skin receive a signal and they send the signal to the brain, and at immediately the brain sends signal to your hand muscle that to soothe the mosquito away. Okay, so that's why the neural coordination is immediate, but the nervous coordination response is very low. Information travels rapidly, but here the information travels slowly. Okay, in case of the neural coordination, information is directed to the specific receptors. Just a few minutes before that, I had told you that when a mosquito sits on your leg, a signal received from the receptor of your skin and reaches to the brain. Okay, and here so that information is directed to a specific receptor. Okay, few nerve fiber gland also, and in case of the chemical coordination, information spread throughout the body by blood, which the target cells or the organ pick it up. Okay, it effects are short, but the hormone effects are more prolonged. Now, discuss the few endocrine glands which are present in our body. So, what are the endocrine glands which are present in our body? These are one is pituitary, that is located on the brain, and second one is a thyroid, and that is situated in our larynx region. Larynx is situated here, and the thyroid gland is situated the anterior position of our neck, that is here. Okay, anterior position of our neck. And the third one is a pancreatic gland. Pancreatic gland is situated here, and it lies just below the stomach and found in between the uterine of the duodenum. Okay, and the last and the adrenal gland is also the endocrine gland, that is situated just above the kidney. It looks like a calf, and that's why the adrenal gland is considered as known as a suprarenal gland. Okay, and there was to another endocrine gland, that is a reproductive gland. One is present is the male body, that is the testes, and another endocrine gland that is located in the present in the female body, that is the ovary. Okay, so at a glance we know the in table form that what is the endocrine gland. That one is the pituitary, and in pituitary there are two lobes. The one is the anterior lobe and another is the posterior lobe. From anterior lobe, in your syllabus had from the anterior lobe there's hormone, seven types of hormones are mainly secreted, but in your syllabus only two types have. One is a somatotrophic hormone or growth hormone, and another is a TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone, and another is a gonadotrophic hormone that also secreted from the anterior pituitary. But this vasopressin is secreted from the posterior pituitary. So, vasopressin is secreted from the posterior pituitary. Remember this, okay? So, in the pituitary, there are two lobes. One is a pituitary, there are two lobes. One is the anterior pituitary, and another is the posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary, these hormones are secreted. TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. FSH, follicle cell stimulating hormone. LH, luteinizing hormone. ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. GH, that is the gonadotrophic hormone or somatotrophic hormone. Okay, and from posterior pituitary, from your syllabus you have that the vasopressin, that is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Now let's discuss what's the function of the somatotrophic hormone. Mainly somatotrophic hormone is known as the growth hormone because it promotes the growth of our muscles and bone. It excretes from specific effect of the protein metabolism and reducing protein metabolism. Okay, so the actually this hormone is known as the growth hormone because it helps to grow in height. Okay, it has in this picture that it has shown that this hormone, the somatotrophic hormone, helps in growth. Normal secretion is high, it is normal, and hyposecretion, the person suffering from dwarfism, and if the hypersecretion, gigantism. Okay, next the hormone is that is secreted from the thyroid gland. I had already discussed the thyroid gland is located where the anterior position of our neck, and thyroid stimulating hormone which is secreted from the pituitary gland, it stimulates the thyroid gland, and from thyroid gland which hormone secreted? Thyroxine. And this hormone helps to increase our heart rate, it helps to produce energy in our body, and it helps to increase the uses of oxygen in the cell of our body. So this type of thyroxine is known as a calorigenic hormone. And there is another type hormone which is secreted from the pancreas. I had already discussed the position of the pancreas, that is this just below the stomach and the U-turn of the duodenum, there's a pancreas. And this pancreas, there are three types of hormones are secreted. One is insulin and glucagon and the somatostatin, but in your syllabus only the insulin has. So the insulin, main function of the insulin is it helps the glucose to enter the cell from the blood. It helps to the break down glucose to produce energy. It also helps glucose in the liver muscle in form of the glycogen. So the main function of the insulin is to convert blood glucose to glycogen. So it helps to maintain the blood sugar level. So if the hyposecretion of the insulin increases the level of the glucose, and glucose goes out the body through urine. So the required amount of the glucose cannot enter in the cell. As a result, different types of disease arise, and the person is suffering from the heart, kidney, and eye failure. That is this type of these organs are not functioning properly. Another gland is the adrenal gland, that is located is a triangular shape, and that is located just above the kidney. And from here one type of hormone is secreted, that is known as the adrenaline hormone, and this hormone is known as the emergency hormone, because the adrenaline hormone helps to control our body temperature and even control the systolic and diastolic pressure of our heart. Okay, so and the last one is of reproductive gland, that is in the male body, that is a testis, and in the female body, ovary. And the male body, from testis there one hormone is secreted, that is a testosterone. And during adolescence, muscles and beard emerge due to the impact of this hormone, and slowly the bones and the muscle become stronger and the body becomes muscular, voice breaks and the voice become hoarse. So this is the function of the testosterone. And then the female hormone is estrogen, that is secreted from the female body, that is a ovary, and it helps the ensuring the growth of the bones and muscle. And this hormone brings the changes by depositing for fat below the skin. And estrogen also found in the male body, but the lesser amount. Okay, so this is the function of our mainly the different endocrine glands, and in the higher class I will discuss in details. And up to this, and there's a few I will give you some questions. That is, one is what is hormone, write the difference between the endocrine and the exocrine gland, and the name, write down the names of the hormone which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. Write the names of the hormone which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. Write the name of the hormone which is secreted from the posterior pituitary. What's the function of the insulin, and why adrenal gland is known as the suprarenal gland. Which hormone is known as the emergency hormone. And write down the function of the thyroxine, This is the question for today. All of you write it down to your copy and I will check. Okay, tata.